Good evening. Adequate notice of the March 2023 Township Committee meeting has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by posting written notice and agenda of the meeting on the bulletin board in the Municipal Building, 1000 Route 10, Township of Hanover, and by hand delivering, mailing, or faxing such notice and agenda to the following newspapers: Morris County's Daily Record, the Star Ledger, Hanover Eagle, and by filing the same with the Township Clerk.
On roll call, Committeeman Cahill.
Here.
Committeeman Vermasca is excused this evening. Committeeman Francioli.
Here.
Committeeman Mahalko is excused this evening. Mayor Gallagher.
Here.
3 members in attendance.
Okay, if everyone would please rise, join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for our prayer. Ron?
Almighty God, please watch over and guide this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding to help make the best decision for our residents. Please bless our first responders, our township volunteers who help to make us all safe. Also bless our township employees and residents. Particularly bless the loss of Marco Bora, who recently deceased. Lastly, please let us pray for men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces who stand vigil over us always. Amen. Be seated.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our first order of business is the oath of office for some of our finest in Hanover Township. I'd like to invite Police Chief Locke, Committeeman Cahill, and Mayor Gallagher to participate in the oaths.
Officer Holmes, come on up. Sean graduated from Wayne Hills High School. He then attended Stockton University, where he earned a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, followed by a master's degree in criminal justice and forensic psychology. While at Stockton University, Sean played ice hockey and then coached during his time at the graduate school. Sean was also part of the National Criminal Justice Honor Society. After college, Sean was hired by the Wayne Police Department as a police, fire, and EMS dispatcher. He then earned a position in the Morris County Public Safety Academy as an alternate route candidate in the 99th Basic Police class. On December 1st, 2022, Sean graduated from the academy and began his field training program here at Hanover Township. Congratulations. Thank you.
I, Sean Coleman,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the
of the
Constitution
United States
of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true
and
faith
allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office
of
police officer
police officer
of the Township of Hanover
of the Township of Hanover
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my
So
ability.
help me God.
So help me God. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Mark.
Brandon?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Brady graduated from Gibbs High School in St. Petersburg, Florida. He then studied aerospace maintenance at St. Petersburg College and subsequently enlisted in the United States Air Force. During his time in the Air Force, Brandon's assignments sent him throughout the U.S., and his responsibilities included being an aircraft mechanic along with being a member of the Honor Guard. In 2022, Brandon earned a position in the Morris County Public Safety Academy as an alternate route candidate in the 99th Basic Police Training class. During his time there, Brandon was selected by his classmates to be the class president. Additionally, Brandon earned the Merit Award and the 200 Club Award. On December 1st, 2022, Brandon graduated from the Academy and began his field training program here in Hanover Township.
I state your name.
I, Brandon Law,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United
and
States
the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
and I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments
in
established
the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of
under the authority
the
of
people,
the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
justly perform
and justly
all
perform
the duties of
all the duties of
the office of police officer
the office of police
for
officer
the Township of Hanover,
for the Township of Hanover
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my
So help
ability.
me God.
So help me God. And
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Rich? Rich graduated from Whitney Park High School, and after that, he earned an associate's degree in exercise science from the County College of Morris. He then graduated cum laude with a bachelor's degree in physical education. Rich then worked as a physical trainer before earning a position in the Morris County Public Safety Academy as an alternate route candidate in the 82nd Basic Police class. In September of 2014, Rich was hired by the Hanover Township Police Department, and during his time with the department, he has earned numerous commendations and awards. Additionally, Rich has served as a field training officer, narcotics task force officer, and currently serves as a firearms instructor, simunition instructor, and baton instructor. During this time, Rich has also earned a master's degree in administrative science from Fairleigh Dickinson University. Congratulations.
I state your name.
I, Richard
Do
Canasta,
solemnly swear
do solemnly
that
swear
I will support the Constitution
that I will support the
of the
Constitution
United States
of the United
and
States
the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New
and
Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments
in
established
the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the
and
people,
that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly
all
perform
the duties
all the duties
of the office of police sergeant
all the duties of the office of police sergeant
for the Township of Hanover
for the Township of Hanover
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my
So
ability.
help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
In 1908.
graduating from Whitney Park High School, Tony continued his service with the Cedar Hill First Aid Squad and rose to the rank of lieutenant before being hired by the police department as a dispatcher. Tony was then hired as a police officer here in Hanover Township and attended the Morris County Firefighters and Police Training Academy. Before graduating as a member of the 29th Basic Police Class, Tony earned the Academic Award for the class. Since his graduation, Tony has received numerous awards, which included leading the department in DWIRS for 7 years. Additionally, Tony has received countless letters of commendation from citizens that he has assisted throughout his distinguished career. Congratulations.
With us forever.
I, Nicholas Tanner,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the
of
Constitution
the United States
of the United States
and the state of New
and the
Jersey,
state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments established
to the government established
in the United States
in the United
and
States
in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of the office of
of the office of
Police Lieutenant
Police Lieutenant,
for the Township of Hanover,
Township of Hanover,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Anthony.
First of all, congratulations again and thank you for everything. But I'd like to say to Hanover Township PD, before you guys take off, I'd like to say on behalf of the Township Committee and on behalf of the 14,700 people that live in this town that you protect every day, I want to say thank you for everything you do every day for us. God bless you guys, thank you, and be safe. And congratulations to all. Good job.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next we have two proclamations. The first is a proclamation in remembrance of the first anniversary of the invasion and war against Ukraine. This proclamation was given to the Ukraine Catholic Church on November 24th by Mayor Gallagher. The next, February 24th. What did I say? Oh, sorry, February 24th by Mayor Gallagher. This is a proclamation congratulating Harry Elfers on his 100th birthday celebration. This proclamation will be presented to Harry at the First Presbyterian Church on November 25th by Mayor Gallagher. Next on the agenda, we have a special public hearing to provide the legal voters of the Whippany Fire Department, District Number 2, and all persons and citizens' interests and opportunity to be heard concerning the adoption of the 2023 Fire Department District Number 2 budget. Committeeman Cahill, would you kindly give the public an overview of the process?
Yes, thank you. So, a little background, on February 28, 2023, the Hanover Fire District held their annual election, at which the budget was defeated by a vote of 108 for and 137 against, or a loss of 29 votes. According to state statute, when a fire district budget is voted down, the Township Committee has 30 days to adopt the budget as is, or with changes the committee deems appropriate. In this capacity, it became our responsibility to look carefully at the proposed budget and determine if there were opportunities for savings that would not negatively impact public safety. As was done in 2004, when District 3's budget was voted down, the Township Committee formed a subcommittee. Our subcommittee consisted of myself, Committeeman Mahalko, Business Administrator Joe Giorgio, and CFO Silvio Esposito. On February 28th, our subcommittee met with Fire Commissioner Chairman John Geffens, Commissioner and Treasurer Rob Cobain, and Fire Chief Paul Perello. We all had 3 years' worth of budget data in hand, and working collaboratively found savings opportunities that would reduce the impact on District 2 taxpayers while still not risking public safety. As a result of our meeting, modifications were made to the proposed budget, which resulted in a $115,000 reduction in 2023 spending. This will reduce the tax rate from 15.5% to about 9.6%. So basically in dollars, that equates to an increase of $33 per year as opposed to $54 for the home assessed at $440,000. So with that said, I want to thank the members of the subcommittee as well as Fire District 2 leadership for what the Township Committee believes is a fair and equitable budget.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If anybody would like to speak, come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
In order to pass the Fire District Number 2 budget, a resolution of the Township Committee must be passed. So Resolution Number 61-2023, titled, "A Resolution of the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover adopting the revised 2023 calendar year budget for the Hanover Township Fire District Number 2." May I please have a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion. Second.
On roll call, Committeeman Cahill,
Aye.
Committeeman Francioli,
Aye.
Committeeman Mahalko,
Yes.
and Mayor Gallagher.
Aye.
This resolution to adopt the revised Hanover Fire District Number 2 2023 budget is approved. Next is the approval of the regular meeting minutes of January 12, 2023 and February 9th, 2023. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next on the agenda, we have the public hearing and adoption of ordinance 7-2023 and 8-2023. Both ordinances and proof of publication and notices of introduction appeared in full in the February 15th issue of the Daily Record in accordance with law. At this time, may I have a motion to convene the public hearing on ordinances number 7 and 8?
So moved.
Second.
Is there anyone in chambers wishing to be heard concerning one of these ordinances? If so, please state your name and which ordinance you'd like to speak about. May I have a motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
Now on adoption of those two ordinances, may I have a motion to adopt both of the ordinances number 7 and 8?
Motion.
Second.
On roll call, Committeeman Cahill.
Aye.
Committeeman Francioli.
Aye.
Committeeman Mahalko.
Yes.
Mayor Gallagher.
Aye.
So adopted. Next is the introduction of the 2023 current fund budget in the amount of $31,548,137.46. The budget will be further considered for final passage at the April 13, 2023 meeting at 8 p.m., at which time any member of the public will be heard concerning the budget. In addition, the Department of Community Affairs is permitting the township to perform a self-examination of the budget without forwarding it to the DCA for consideration to introduce. The synopsis of the budget will be published in the Daily Record on March 15, 2023. Copies of the budget will also be available in the Finance Office for review and will also be posted on the township's website. May I please have a motion to introduce and establish the public hearing date and consideration of the adoption of the 2023 current fund budget on April 13th?
So moved.
I'll take that as a second, too. On roll call, Committeeman Cahill,
Aye.
Committeeman Francioli,
Aye.
Committeeman Mahalko.
Yes.
Mayor Gallagher.
Aye.
So introduced. Okay, next we have 6 ordinances for introduction. I'd like to read each title into the record. Ordinance number 9-2023, an ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 218 of the Code of the Township entitled Property Maintenance by prohibiting new planting of bamboo within the township. Ordinance number 10-2023, ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover, amending Chapter 166, Land Use and Development of the Code of the Township of Hanover by creating a new B10W zone, district, and regulations, changing the zone classification of certain properties from the B10 zone to the B10W zone, and by amending various provisions related to the change in the zone classification. Ordinance number 11-2023, an ordinance of the Township Committee of Township of Hanover, amending Chapter 166, Land Use and Development of the Code of the Township of Hanover by amending the regulation of building heights in the OB-RL and OB-RL3 zone districts, and by amending the regulations of solar panels. Ordinance number 12-2023, ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover authorizing the resurfacing of a portion of Reynolds Avenue from Highland Avenue to 450 feet south of B Meadow Parkway, Whippany section of the township, and appropriating the sum of $460,000 from New Jersey Department of Transportation's fiscal year 2022 municipal aid program and the township's 2023 current fund budget. Ordinance number 13-2023, an ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Ordinance 19-2021, authorizing the replacement and upgrade of a column shower in the B Meadow Swimming Pool facility, and further appropriating an additional sum of $25,000 from the Swimming Pool Enterprise Fund capital account for 2023 and all years prior for the financing of that project. And lastly, ordinance number 14-2023, ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, authorize the resetting of the starting blocks at the B Meadow Swimming Pool facility, and further appropriating the sum of $17,000 for the Swimming Pool Enterprise Fund capital account for 2023 and all prior years for the financing of that project. I'd like to state for the record that all 6 ordinances and their notice of introduction will be published in full in the Daily Record in accordance with the law. Public hearing is scheduled for April 13, 2023 at 8 p.m. If any member of the public would like to speak regarding those ordinances, they will be given the opportunity to do so that evening. May I please have a motion to introduce ordinances 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 as a consent agenda.
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
On roll call, Committeeman Cahill,
Yes.
Committeeman Francioli,
Aye.
Committeeman Mahalko.
Yes.
Mayor Gallagher.
Aye.
So introduced. Our next order of business is the approval of resolutions as a consent agenda. Resolutions number 62-2023 through 76-2023. Does any member of the Township Committee have any questions regarding those items? May I have a motion to pass the
So moved.
resolutions?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next on the agenda, we have to pay our bills in the amount of $2,297,532.15. May I have a motion to pay our bills?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And lastly, we have 9 raffle applications for approval. Does any member of the committee have any questions regarding these applications?
Motion to move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Mayor Gallagher and the members of the Township Committee, that clears the agenda, and I thank you.
Thank you, Krista, great job.
Thank you. I need some water.
I was going to suggest that. I used to know when Joe needed water, too. Okay, I'm going to ask for a motion to open to the public.
Make the motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Would anybody from the public like to address the governing body? If so, please stand up, state your name, your address, and the floor is yours.
Mary Beth Cowley, 22 Troy Hills Road in Whitman. I would like to have an update on the Pine Plaza property as to what is the past 6 months. Has anything come about, Patriots Path, what stores are going in? It's been sitting there, like, been sitting.
You know, the timing couldn't be better for this question. We had an update this morning. I'm going to ask our business administrator, Joe Giorgio, to bring the public up to date on what just took place this morning.
Okay.
So, as you may know, we had a public hearing on January the 12th concerning what is known as a diversion and disposal on a portion of Patriots Path, an easement that went through the former Midas Muffler property at the old mall. And the regulations by Green Acres required that before any development could take place, that easement had to be moved.
Right.
So we had the public hearing on the 12th of January. We did everything that the Green Acres program wanted. We had to do the public hearing, we had to post notices, had to give everyone within 200 feet notice. We had to post a big sign, which you probably saw, Mary Beth. And today was the culmination of that whole process, which took almost a year. And that was the approval by the State House Commission, which is a group of individuals from the Governor's Office, the Department of the Treasury, and members of the State Senate, who reviewed various applications for approval, one of which was the diversion and disposal. And at approximately 10:30 this morning, that was approved. So now what happens is the plat and site plan for Mr. Forgione can move forward. We still have some administrative items that have to be discussed internally with staff, and that should be happening within the next week or two.
Is all the remediation done? Because that was a holdup back maybe last spring.
I'm going to defer to Jerry Messere. Probably Jerry would have more information on that.
If you mean the remediation, the environmental remediation
Yes.
resulting from a former use of former dry cleaner?
Yes, exactly.
I'm not aware that that's fully been completed. There might be some deed restrictions that need to be filed, and I think the developer was waiting for this diversion process to finalize before he can proceed with finalizing that process for the remediation.
Okay, so when you said a couple of weeks, they'll do a site plan including the apartments or the condos in the back?
I think we're talking about, at this point, just the 60 townhouses.
Right, townhouses.
Yeah, at this
Okay.
point. We don't have any additional information on what will happen with the balance of the property at this point.
So you don't know what box store is going to be in there or any, those,
Unfortunately not.
so maybe we'll see process in the next few months then?
I would hope so. At least if we could see movement on the 60 townhouses, that would be a plus.
Can I ask that something be put on the Hanover page? Mayor Faramoska did that back in September to bring everybody up to date because the town has no idea. And he did a great letter, to bring everybody up to date as to what's going
Oh,
on.
that's all right.
Communication.
It's a great idea, and we've already discussed doing it, but we
Okay.
couldn't do it until this morning's
No,
meeting
no,
and this
no, I
morning's approval. But
understand.
yeah, the township will be updated. We will be sending it out on our Tap Into. It will be on our website, and we will all share it on all the social media pages.
Okay, because that was great. People understood instead of starting rumors who were, going on, not going on. I have a second question. Back in September, 6 months ago, I was here and I was talking about the vacant buildings, especially on Route 10, both sides, banks, gas stations, restaurants, and how the property is just, in really bad shape. and you had, somebody on the board said that you were gonna do an increase of payment to cite, to the owners of the building if they didn't keep up their properties. And that was supposed to take place in November, if I'm correct, to like $2,000 fines. Did that go through to the, if your property isn't up to speed, that they were gonna raise it to 2,000? And then you were gonna speak to the building department to go out and get the owners to do something with the properties. And has anything been done on that? 'Cause you go up and down Route 10, and it's disgraceful.
Well, you know what, I'll say that Committeeman Cahill is the director of the building department, but I work in the property maintenance with Sean and Elle.
Okay, you're right.
The amount of time they spend, the amount of time we call with specific areas of complaint, and the amount of people that call and ask questions, they are running around like lunatics. They really are. That's my piece of Brian's building department. The fines did increase. People are responding. The wintertime, it's really tough to do something outdoors, but it's also a bigger problem, like vacant buildings. We had a real tough time for a long time as a governing body trying to work with that zoning because it's so limited, especially on the riverside. So we're all working very hard to try to get people to come in on every different angle. So we're aware of it. The building department is doing a very good job, and they're out much more than they used to be.
Nothing's been done on Route 10 for a couple of years, winter or not. I mean, last spring, last summer, it's really bad.
Well, as far as the vacant
Can't
buildings
you
are
go after
concerned,
the owner, the taxpayer? They must be paying taxes on these buildings.
which building specifically, though?
Westbound, you got Bogies, you got the bank that's falling apart on Route 10. Then on the other side, you got a gas station. You've got, you must see it going,
Well, you know what, the gas station, and I will be available anytime you'd like to talk in more detail about
I
any
would like
specific
to.
property, I am available. But even the gas station, heavy 2 years ago, Bill, we approved a beautiful, small coffee shop there, and because of COVID, because of supply chain, because of labor, and then because of interest, a lot of people didn't pull the trigger on projects that they really should have had completed by now. We are working with everything we could to try to get those businesses. This is our town.
Right.
That's probably a mile and a half from my house. I'm
Right,
not thrilled
you
about
must
seeing
see
it,
it.
but
Yeah.
from being on this side of the desk, we're doing everything we can to try to encourage people to come in, but we had a real struggle. We had a real struggle in the last 2.5 years.
All right, but now it's over. They've got to be fined. If my house looked like that, the building department would be out within a day.
But there are a lot of fines out there, but also with the courts. The courts got backed up quite a bit because of COVID, and they were having them only virtual. So some of these cases came in, were postponed, came in and were postponed. It was a mess. Hanover Township didn't ignore this at any point. We're not happy about it, and we have our people out there working on it all the time. And if there was a way we can get people to come in and put good businesses in those buildings that we're not doing, we'd like to know what more we can do, because we work on it very hard all the time.
But they should, are they fined? Have they
They
been
are fined. People are fined.
And they're not paying it? They're just,
When it comes to court and then court gets postponed, it was just the whole 2.5 years because of COVID. Now, thank God I worked every day during COVID. So sometimes when people blame things on COVID, I turned a blind eye to it because it's a great excuse for many, many things. But it wasn't the case here. Court was very, very difficult. Even divorce court
because they
was
told,
unbelievable because people couldn't get divorced.
right. No, I was told back in September that you would start finding them the $2,000
They are getting
once it
fined.
was approved.
They are getting fined.
They are, but they're still not doing anything about it.
Well, 9 times out of 10, the complaints are high grass,
No,
leaves.
it's not high grass, it's buildings falling
Well, 9
apart.
times out of 10, they are.
Yeah, but these are not. These are buildings that are falling apart. I mean, they look bad.
I agree with you.
So we have to do something.
They do quite a bit. I'll find out tomorrow what they have been doing lately with some of the specific buildings on Route 10. but I know what they do, and Blaze, you raise your hand?
Yeah, just so you know that Shell Station on the 10th.
Yes,
They just filed this week for an extension of their approval. So they have,
approval of,
they got an approval for the coffee shop
Okay.
that the mayor talked about.
right,
They just filed for an extension of that approval, which means it's not dead. They're coming back. So
Okay.
I think it hit a long pause, as he said, because of COVID, but I think it's back on.
we're back on track with that one at least? Okay, and the PNC Bank is just rotting away. 30 South Jefferson, North Jefferson or South Jefferson, where Cambridge Pharmaceuticals is? South? North, I'm sorry, I get my directions confused. Cambridge Pharmaceuticals, you want to put a 60-unit senior housing or affordable housing there?
Fred did join us, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Fred, if you want to take that one?
And it's not certain, but
Okay.
it's a wonderful opportunity for the township because it's 60 senior affordable units only, and it's to be built and operated by the developer.
And the developer, I've
It's the-
heard, is 4G owned?
It's a partnership, whoever is at the Park Avenue project. So yes, he's one of the members of the partnership, but they're committed to $1 million to the purchase price, and they're committed to build that, and that's been certified by the court. So it's a great program for the township. And Mayor, if I could just say one thing about the, buildings. I think, the discussion happens so quickly, but approximately 6 months ago, the mayor, the administrator, well, at the time it was Mr. Gallagher, the administrator, Bill Byrne, my office, as well as John Testa of our office, who's a litigator, had regular meetings, and they still do, with the zoning office. And I think it's the only court in Morris County, and this was because of the will of the governing body, to have one session every month for zoning violations. So we spend an afternoon with the zoning officer and try to move those cases along. I don't know of another municipal court that does that. It was when this governing body hired the municipal court judge, that was one of the things that was a stipulation to move them along. So I have to say, just as a reminder, everybody, on a weekly basis, we are in touch with matters that do go forward to court, because there's a lot of pride and a lot of emphasis that's been expressed by the governing body with respect to that issue. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And the one thing I'd like to say to cap that off, because I wasn't going to get into that much detail about the specifics, and I'm glad you did, Fred, but we do get together. We have a serious subcommittee with 2 of our attorneys on it. Every month, we have a list of properties. Where are we? What happened in the last 30 days?
Okay.
My infamous line is, I'm not interested in the next 30. I want to hear about what we did in the last 30. But again, when it comes to a property and it's a person that owns it, a person that's struggling, a person that can't rent it or sell it, we have to be a little bit sensitive on discussing a specific property and possibly hurting somebody. But I'm glad Fred brought up what he did, because I could look you dead in the eyes and say, we're working very, very hard.
Okay.
And I have all the information right here, because we go over it every 30 days, and sometimes sooner than 30-day increments.
Okay, for everyday people, it just doesn't look it. That's why I'm saying we need a little bit more communication, even on things like that, because nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors. And back to the pharmaceutical, I didn't finish. Now, you're making them move out to build this?
No, no. If it were to happen, it's just a small portion of their vacant land.
Okay, you're not making them move out?
No, not at all.
Okay.
And, before we wrap up, because I'm going to count your 4 minutes, I'll add 4 minutes for Dale, so we'll do 8 for you. But here's the one point I wanted to make about the senior affordable housing.
Okay.
Hanover Township has more, in principle, they're not built yet, but more senior affordable housing than anyone. Because our rationale was, in the time, we all have family members that are getting older. I can't see a world where you can sell a home for $500,000 and then buy a condo for $800,000. It doesn't make sense. So we bent over backwards to try to accommodate the fact that 28% of our Hanover residents are seniors.
Right.
Now, we can't specify that it goes to our Hanover residents first, but we've been very clear on the set-aside we have for our seniors and the affordable units, and we do have a very good program in place for veterans that Fred worked diligently on. So we put a lot of thought into that too. So although it might look bad on the surface, we're putting 60 units here.
Okay.
They're affordable senior units that are going to be very, very comfortable for the average senior to afford after selling a $500,000 house and not going into an $800,000 condo.
Now, that's just going to be senior housing, they're not affordable
Those are affordable.
for younger people or just seniors?
Those 120 units we specified for senior affordable
Oh,
units.
sorry, okay, because it said senior affordable, so, in the paper. All right, I don't have time for another one, so I'll come back.
So Dale, is that okay? Your wife used your 4 minutes? So that's how we did it, that's how we did everything in one shot?
Hey, after 43 years, it's the same.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else like to be heard? Yes, sir.
Secret 4011. I'm here to apologize for my board members on my condo complex.
Sir, could you just repeat your name and your
Mark
address
Seeker,
again?
4011 Boxwood Court. I apologize for my board members posing a lawsuit against the Township of Hanover Township. The base of the lawsuit is simply discrimination by the association and Taylor Management. I will be look forward to helping the Hanover Township overcome the obstacle put upon by my association in the discriminatory way that they have. We've been just served over 15 minutes ago by letters from the state and our association and board members, one which is here today. So if you need any help, I am here for you. Thank you.
Mayor, if I could have the gentleman's name and contact information. Mark?
Please, Fred.
4011 Boxwood Court, 973-517.
Well, you don't, you could, if you want, you could give it to us quietly, but we'd like to get in touch with you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none?
Motion to close?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that does it unless any committee member would like to make a comment or two. Starting with Ron.
Starting with Ron. First off, I think I comment for all of us how sad we are as a municipal family for the loss of one of our employees who've been with us for some 37, 38 years, Marco Bora, a very devoted employee, and we lost him at a very young age of 57 years old, and our prayers go with his family in the future for Marco. I wanted to say how pleased we are now that spring has finally sprung with the Hanover Township's Stony Brook Farm and Garden. Of 144 gardens, over 90 of them have been committed already, and it's doing well. Additional gardens are going to be given up to the Interfaith Food Pantry, so whatever our gardeners can raise in conjunction with the food pantry goes to them, goes to the food pantry. Also want to give a shout out and a boo. Here's the boo. We reached out to several seed companies this year to assist with contributions of seed for our gardeners and for the garden. And we started out with the very biggest seed company, Burpee. Boo. We got absolutely no response from Burpee, but we do want to give an attaboy to John Selected Seeds. We do want to give an attaboy to High Modern Organic. We do want to give an attaboy to Herman's Gardens, all whom contribute large amounts of seeds to the garden. So we appreciate that very much. So that's it for me, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron. Brian?
Well, I pretty much went over the budget thing earlier. I just, once again, just wanted to congratulate Mr. Coleman and Law, as well as new appointed Sergeant Maska and Lieutenant Lanza. I think the only other thing I wanted to mention with regards to the police department is concerned is they made a major milestone just this week as far as getting reaccreditation from the state for something that they've been doing for a number of years. A site visit was done, public comments were made available, and apparently they did very well there. So the police department now goes before the board, I think in June, and if that goes well, they will be reaccredited. Congratulations to them. Wishing them the best of luck. And I think that's it. Okay.
Thank you, Brian. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple things tonight. First of all, I apologize for running late. My daughter had a concert tonight, and she had a solo, and it went really well, so, but I apologize for that. Just a couple things. If you don't know already, we have art that hangs in our hallway here. There are different artists that come in. Their art hangs for 2 months, and then we change it over to help display that, to promote it. We're going to have art openings on the first Tuesday night of their art opening. So this next one coming up will be on April 6th, 6 o'clock. It's open. There'll be cheese and crackers, no wine. But we are going to have art openings, and that's usually the art is up for 2 months. We have artists lined up pretty much through the year. I think we have a 2-month period. October, November is still open, but December, January is going to be another one. We actually have my daughter again, another daughter. She's going to an art school right now, and there's several girls from Whippany Park that will be displaying their art, bringing their teachers in. They're all going to, again, SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design, and they're going to be having an art display up for 2 months also. But again, for this one coming up on April 6th, 6 o'clock, come on out. It's open to everyone. The artist will be here. She's also an author, so you can see her book and ask her some questions about her art that's hanging. Just a couple more quick things. Spring is coming real quick. We know that because our B-Meadow pool registrations are in the mail if you haven't gotten them already. The B-Meadow pool, we've been really doing a lot of work on. We saw a couple resolutions tonight about improving some of the facilities in there. Come on out, join the pool. It's a great time. There's a lot of people, a lot of your neighbors are there. And it is also open to outside of our community too. If you are outside of Hanover Township, we do have a non-resident package available too. And again, even the condos, even if you guys have your own pools and you want to come out and join ours, we're here. We'd love to have you for a couple $100 for a whole summer. It's really a good deal. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on. There's bingo and mahjong and concerts and all kinds of stuff are going on. So keep an eye out for the pools. If you haven't received it, go to the website. All the information's right there. You can sign up online. Mark your calendars. 2 events I want to put on your radar already. First of all, the Memorial Day Parade is on Memorial Day, May 29th, so mark your calendars. It steps off at 9:30. And then the other is our fireworks this year. Again, we saw the resolution in there tonight. June 30th. It seems a little early, but the way the calendar falls, June 30th will be firework night, so mark that down. Okay? That's it for now. Thank you.
Good job, Mike. Thank you. I just want to say before we conclude that Hanover Township is now part of Tap Into Hanover. We are working very, very hard to communicate in real time in the current 2023. We're working very, very hard to modernize a lot. But you gave me a very, very good idea tonight, and I'm going to be calling Joe Giorgio and Tap Into first thing tomorrow morning. I would like to have a section in there, and we can, because we have flexibility, called Ask Your Governing Body. And we will open it up, so we don't have to guess what's concerning people, or hope to hear it, or hope to go on social media and find it, although we do. But Joe, I want to create a portion called Ask Your Governing Body. It will go to our business administrator, and then from there, it will go to the township committeeman that oversees that detail. If we have to lean on Fred, or we have to lean on our professionals, we will do so. That will be our job. But Joe, we'll start that, we'll get that in the works tomorrow, Ask Your Governing Body. So any ideas anybody has to help us communicate better in real time with real information, and I want to also say when something comes from Tap Into, from Hanover Township, It's official information from the township. It's straight. If we can't get into detail, we will say we can't get into detail, but it's not going to be second-hand information. And as far as I'm concerned with my comments, there's been a lot of comments from a lot of different things I'm involved in, but they are on Tap Into, they're on the website, they're on social media. So that being said, I'd like to call to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Very good.
Michael, we'll be here, bud. Thanks.
Step off.